Prayers.
Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us, thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner, to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country, and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen. Good morning. Please, can you be seated? Thank you.
Communication from the chair.
Thank you. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, honorable ministers and members of the press. Honorable members, today we shall commence the debate on the State of the Nation address delivered by His Excellency, the President. But I would like to remind honorable members that the President has outlined in his address the government's policies, programs, and statement of his administration for our consideration and scrutiny. Equally, he has entreated us to continue to work together in the best interest of the nation, peace and stability amidst COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, I wish to reiterate that we must nurture our young democracy for a peaceful and prosperous Gambia, and in doing so, I kindly urge honorable members to reflect and debate on the address with due diligence. And I thank you all for your attention. Clerk, can we proceed, please? Thank you.
Correction and approval of records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 22nd September 2020.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, the 22nd of September 2020 is before us for consideration and adoption. Can any honorable member please move that the said record of votes and proceedings be considered and adopted? Any volunteers? Yes, Banjul Central. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move that the records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sittings of Tuesday, 22nd September to be considered and adopted. Thank you.
Thank you. Any seconder? Yes, Combo East.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, the 22nd of September 2020 be adopted. Any issues or observations from honorable members? I believe the records have already been circulated. Yes. So we'll start with page 1. Any issues on page 1? Page 2? No? Okay. Just confirm the attendance, the list of names. Yes, Janjambure.
Madam Speaker, I thought the member for Woodley West had suggested that these names should be in alphabetical order. He recommended a recommendation the whole time. And you said they were going to look into it.
posted, but you'll appreciate the fact that we've been very tight over the last couple of days. But we took note of that, and we are working on that. Thank you. So that it would be easier. But there was an explanation by the table office. Thank you. Page 2. Yes, Jara East. Jara is page.
No, you said page 2. I said we are going to page 4. You said page.
Page 3, everybody's name. Yes, Sane Mentereng.
Yes, 36. You still have Honorable Fode Kasama as the nominated member instead of Honorable.
3, it will be deleted, please. Thank you. Yes, Jimara, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Page 3, number 31 and number 56, Alaudi Sankunjame. It's repeated. His name is repeated twice. 31 and 56.
Yes, Janjambure, thank you.
I think number 57, Sane Mentereng is wrongly spelled.
2157.
I said 57, Sane Mentereng is wrongly spelled.
Yes, Sane Mentereng. Are you saying it is correct?
Just trying to show him my tag to show him that.
NI?
Yeah.
Is NI.
Yes.
So what is on your constituency tag is wrong.
No, it's NI. It's the same.
It's NI.
It's the same, yes.
Okay. So he says it's correct. Thank you. Any more on page 3? No? Page 4? Yes, Jara East.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. Page 4, the following National Assembly members were absent with permission. It's 1 member instead of members. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, please.
Yes, Lower Fuladu West.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The vacant seat of Nyamina West is not mentioned.
Woolly West.
Thank you. Page 4, the paragraph on the communication from the chair. The whole of that paragraph is clumsily written. First, third line, instead of saying was continued, just say continued. But if you look at the sentence that follows, however, upon a motion without notice under clause 53C of the standing orders being, something is funny there, being moved and seconded and approved by this. What? It's very senseless. The formulation.
You want us to reward that sentence, to have it rewarded?
It has to be rewarded.
Yeah, can you give a proposal?
Yeah, well, yes. However, upon a motion.
Or you want to consult the table office so that you can give a better version?
Okay.
Very well. Thank you. It will still amount to an amendment.
Okay.
Cantora,
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Page 4, second paragraph. She continued to inform the honorable members of the National Assembly members that the debates on general measures and principle of the draft constitution, not the constitution, we're dealing with the draft constitution. Yes. Yes. What I'm telling you, I have to bring the draft constitution.
on page 4.
Yes.
What do you have there?
His point is that at least the draft should have been.
Yes, where is my draft? I've seen your point, but I think we were also guided by the word promulgation. Yeah. Any more on page 4? No, we move over to page 5. Page 6. Yes, Woolley East.
Yes, page 6 is the last paragraph, second line, where they say winded up instead of wound up.
Thank you. Any more on page 6? Yes, Jara East.
Honorable Speaker, for the sake of consistency, yes, on the ensuing debates, it reads, the following honorable members took the floor and continued the debate on the principles and merits of the bill, as opposed to general merits and principles, for the sake of consistency. Thank you.
Thank you. Page 7. Thank you. Page 7. Yes, Woolley East.
No, I want to take us back to page 6. Yes, please. Can you help Madam to hear me, please? Yes, Madam, page 6. The following National Assembly members took the floor and continued the debate. Madi Sise, his title is not written there. It should be Honorable Madi, not Madi Sise.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Honorable Speaker.
Nobody has picked this up, but I just want for us to ensure that we have everything correct. And where it says here, under our page 7, Speaker's rulings, honorable members, according to so and so, and I quote, whether that should not be in quotes, in brackets, because this is not my language, it's a reproduction of the provisions of the Constitution. So I think it should be in quotes. So please take note, huh? Thank you. Yes, Joe Kadu.
Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Let me take us back to page 6 on ensuing debate. I contributed yesterday, but I cannot see my name here. It is not captured. Yesterday. Thank you.
Page 8, Sedimentary.
Where it states the Speaker's ruling, Speaker's rule, the members, according to Section 226A, 2B, and 4B of the 1997 Constitution, under this section shall not be, the B is missing, be passed. Page 7, yes.
Earlier on raised his tag. Let me take
Yeah.
this and then.
We are dealing with page 7, right? Page 7. Yes, when you go, question put and agreed to, the same problem we rectified yesterday, that is the question mark after no. And then when you come to Speaker's ruling, it says, honorable members, according to Section 226, 2B, and 4B of the 1997 Constitution, reads. So we say, which reads, and I quote, I think that will flow. And then when you come to the last paragraph, you say 3/4 of all the National Assembly as required. I think we put members there. 3/4 of all the National Assembly members. Yeah. You've seen it.
Exact wordings of the Constitution. Thank you. Any more corrections? Yes, Basse?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm not comfortable with the submission of the member for Kantora. The word draft, the document itself, there's no word draft on this document. And this is the document we are talking about. And if you look at it again, it is being repeated. Look at here, for consistency purpose, if you go in by draft, draft should be here again. Where you have honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled the Constitution. So are you going to put there the draft Constitution again? So therefore, her submission has to be considered. Thank you.
As I said, we were guided by this. And what it says here is the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia 2020 promulgation bill. It is still, it's a bill. Thank you. Page 8, sorry. Yes, Woolley is page 8.
Yes, page 8, first line, first paragraph, where it says the said bill falls. So we are reporting, it's in the past now, the said bill has fallen short. I think that'll be better.
On page 8.
The second paragraph, which reads, therefore, as the presiding officer, THE is missing.
Yes, noted. Honorable member for Lower Badibu, yes. I saw your tag on, no?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I'm not comfortable here. I just need an assistance there. Where it says the Speaker's ruling, honorable members, according to Section 2262, B and 4B of the 1997 Constitution, reads, and I quote, I believe the Speaker is not quoting from herself. She is quoting from the Constitution. I believe it has to be she quote, because she is not speaking for herself, she is speaking for us, the Assembly.
Observation, thank you. Any more observations so that we do the corrections? Any more? Yes, Jara East.
Honorable
Which
Speaker,
page?
no, I beg to differ with my honorable colleague from Lower Badibu. I beg to differ. You can't say she quotes. You can only say she quoted. We are reporting. Thank you.
And it will be, I'm sure the correct version will be done, or corrections. Thank you. So we're satisfied. I take it that we're satisfied with the corrections. Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, the 22nd of September, 2020 be adopted with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. So the ayes have it. Thank you very much. Deputy Clerk, can we please proceed? Thank you.
Motion. Debate on the State of the Nation Address 2020 delivered by His Excellency the President of the Republic on Thursday, 17 September 2020.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I'll now open the debate, consideration and debate on the State of the Nation Address delivered by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia on Thursday, the 17th of September 2020. May I request that any honorable member who wishes to take part in the debate may do so by raising his or her constituency tag to be recorded and will be given the floor. But again, before giving the floor, may we all remind ourselves to observe and respect the rules of debate as outlined and contained under Clause 29 of Clause 1 of our standing orders, which reads, every honorable member shall restrict his or her observations to the subject matter under discussion, and the emphasis is mine. Furthermore, Clause 30 sub Clause 1 also reads, and I quote, debate upon any motion or amendment to a motion or upon any bill, part of a bill, or amendment to a bill shall be relevant thereto, except in the case of a motion for the adjournment of the Assembly. And again, the emphasis is mine. Essentially, the debate should center around the subject matter under discussion. I'll therefore urge and call on all honorable members to respect and observe the rules as indicated earlier. And I thank you all. May we now invite tags so that...
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Sorry. Before we take the list, the tags, may I just recognize the presence of Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic. Thank you. Yes, Central Badibu, your tag was up.
Yes, point of order. Yes, clause 51. 51, matters of the day. A member may seek leave of the Speaker to make a statement to the Assembly on a matter which fulfills the criteria specified in paragraph 3. A member seeking leave shall submit a formal request writing to the clerk not later than the time provided in paragraph 4, outline the subject of the matter proposed statement. I wish to make a statement with your permission, Honorable Speaker, and I have submitted my request to the office of the clerk.
I just want to confirm that you are referring to the relevant section. The clause 51, matters of the day. Okay. Under clause 51, subclause 6. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That, under clause 51 of the standing orders, and specifically subclause 6, which states, if the speaker gives leave for a statement to be made, he or she shall allow the member to make the statement as soon as reasonably practicable. So leave is granted for you to deliver the statement. Thank you. So you can go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with your kind permission, I wish to make a statement and register my concern on the increasing number of deaths of Gambian women, particularly of recent. Madam Speaker, the saddest and unfortunate thing is that most of these deaths happen at the very termination of their pregnancies, that is during labor, needless to recount the numerous complications and sickness that women have to endure throughout the period of pregnancy. Sadly, Madam Speaker, while there is expected to be joy at the end, after all that pregnant women go through, the worst awaits them during delivery. For what is expected to be celebration and feasting for the family, in respect of the arrival of a new member of the family, has been mourning and crying for the deaths of the ones who give birth to these babies. In some instances, Madam Speaker, the babies will not even arrive. They too die along with the mother. With these 2 weeks, Madam Speaker, I knew 4 women who met their deaths while giving birth life, and whose deaths have been attributed to poor and inadequate health care attention accorded to them during delivery. Madam Speaker, it will be grossly prejudicial to apportion blame to any particular individual, nurse or doctor. However, it is about time we sincerely interrogate our concerns and type of healthcare system that we have for our people. The maternal deaths that are happening all over the country are avoidable and therefore unacceptable. Madam Speaker, it is about time as legislators that action are taken to rescue ourselves and our women from these avoidable circumstances. In order to do this, Madam Speaker, we need a bold and multifaceted approach to tackle this long generational crisis in our health sector. Our mothers, sisters, and wives do not deserve this kind of death. It is true that death is obvious and inevitable, but not in the manner we have witnessed of recent times. This country needs a better healthcare system to take care of our people, particularly our women. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, I wish to move a motion for the Minister of Health to come and give detailed statistics on maternal deaths in the country from January 2020 to date, the primary causes of their deaths, and what the ministry has done or is doing to remedy the situation. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Has been read and the motion will be considered later. Thank you very much.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. On clause 51(4)(a). Yes, it says a request under this standing order shall be made. Yes. A request under this standing order shall be made not later than 9 a.m. on any sitting day. 9:30 a.m. on any sitting day. And the time now is after 11. So,
if you read it, a request under this standing order shall be made no later than 9:30 a.m. on any sitting day. Honorable member, let's first of all understand that our official time here starts at 10 o'clock, number one. Number two, the request was made much earlier than 9 o'clock on the sitting day. So I would overrule your objection. Thank you. Please, can we proceed? Thank you. Honorable members, can you raise your tags for your intervention so that it will be recorded. Yes, from here. Please, can you?
Speaker.
Honorable member for Lower Nyomi. We start with Lower Nyomi.
Madam
Just keep
Speaker.
your tags on. We are taking them up.
Observation.
Yes, thank you.
Madam Speaker, observation. Observation. I just want to observe that I have before me proposed motions.
That the motion will be dealt with later.
Yeah, what I'm
I
saying.
did say that. Thank you. Maybe you did not hear it. Please, thank you. Start with Lower Nyomi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Of the content of the President's speech, I was expecting that the elapse of the curfew would have been made known, because it did not cover a good sector of our community. Because when we went home, the markets were still closed on Sunday. And Madam Speaker, let me appeal to the authorities to lessen the leverage that is brought to bear on the Lumos. Our people are definitely tired. Our people are almost starving at that level.
Point of order. No. A point of order. The statement.
Honorable, we are debating the President's address. The President's address.
Madam, allow me
Yes,
to-
but it appears as if you're talking, I nearly thought that you thought that it was an adjournment debate whereby you can talk about anything. Let's confine, just a second. Let's try, as we said, to confine our observations to the subject matter under discussion, which is the
Point of order, Madam.
which is the address delivered by His Excellency, outlining the programs and policies of his government. Yes.
Point of order.
Can you allow a point of order? Somebody wants to raise a point of order.
point
Just
of
a
order.
second.
Thank you, Honorable
Please,
Speaker. I'm rising.
honorable members, please. I am appealing for all of us to be orderly. We all cannot speak at the same time. We have to respect the chair and the rules of procedure that we have already adopted. So we are all at liberty to take the floor, but it has to be done according to laid down procedures. Please, I'm just appealing. 2 or 3 people who cannot take the floor at the same time. Thank you. Yes, Kantor.
Madam, it's a point of order. When a point of order is raised, the Speaker is obliged to allow the person to refer the Assembly to the relevant provision. I'm raising a point of order 51.8. No individual statement on a matter of the day shall exceed 3 minutes, and the time allowed for the matter of the day shall not exceed on 3 minutes. The member is not touching on the statement made by the mover. He is dealing with the President's statement. Thank you.
the debate that I have opened the floor on is on the address by His Excellency President, known as Sunan. Nothing more, nothing less. As for the statement, this is not the first time that a statement on matters of the day has been made. It has been done here earlier on, and there was no debate on that. So please, let us proceed.
Observation, Madam Speaker. Observation.
Please, I am not allowing any more observations. The honorable member is on his feet. Please. Thank you. Can you proceed?
Madam Speaker, as I said,
of clarification, Honorable Speaker.
I didn't hear the elapse of the curfew as was part of the content of the speech of the President. And I was expecting also to hear that there was lessening and allowance for the LUMOS to operate countrywide. That's my intervention.
Birkama South.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. First of all, I want to seize this opportunity to thank the President for fulfilling his constitutional requirement to come to the Assembly and report about the status of the implementation of his development plan and policies. In the same vein, I also want to thank the authors of this report, which is well-crafted and well-written. As you can see it, I definitely want to thank them for a better report in terms of arrangement. From there also, Madam Speaker, I just want to start with defense. I have few observations with regards to this particular statement made by the President. The defense aspect of it is, which is very key. If you look at it, bullet number 2, I want to quote: in responding to the call to duty, the Gambian Navy has intensified routine sea patrols to enforce the law and ensure the security of our borders and the territorial integrity of the nation. This is something which is very, very key, Madam Speaker. One thing I'm not very much comfortable, and I definitely was expecting this thing to be captured. What type of strategy? You're talking about the territorial integrity and our borders in terms of water. How about the land areas? And I have been crying over and over with regards to the area in which I'm coming from. It's very threatening right now. Our country has been seriously encroached. And if you look at it, the territorial integrity of this country has been compromised over and over. I even spoke to the defense minister during his routine tour on security installations all over the country. Dar es Salaam in particular was mentioned. Especially during this COVID-19 period, whereby when the borders were closed, we have seen incidents whereby our own security officers have been assaulted by the Senegalese authorities, and this is a big problem. Madam Speaker, this is a potential conflict between the two countries, and it has to be approached, the approach has to be very serious and concerted from all aspects. That is why I've been dealing with so many stakeholders with regards to this particular area. More especially, if you look at it, it has two components. There is insecurity. It is in two components. There is insecurity and there is a scramble over the apportioning of that particular community. Madam Speaker, if you look at some of our borders in this country, there is always a buffer between the Gambia and the Republic of Senegal. Like you go to Jiboro, there is a buffer. You go to Senoba and others. But you go to Dar es Salaam, this is not happening. You go to Dimbaya, this is not happening. It's very interesting to know that you go to that villages whereby where even our alkali, the alcalo of this particular village.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Point of order. Madam Speaker, on standing order 51, 6 and 7. 6 and 7. It says, if the Speaker gives leave for a statement to be made, he or she shall allow the member to make the statement as soon as reasonable practicable. 7, the Speaker may select from among those members in the chambers indicating their wish to speak a number of other members to make a statement on the choosing matter of the day. No individual statement on a matter of the day shall exceed 3 minutes, and this time allowed for a matter of the day shall not exceed 30 minutes in total. And we are deviating. The member made a statement. Other members want to make
actually,
their intervention,
honorable
and
member,
now we are going to
no, it's no deviation. The statement actually ended up with a motion. Can you put your mic off? The statement ended up with moving a motion for the health minister to come up and give details. I did indicate that there is a motion. We will come to the motion later. I have used my discretion on the 7, or I will use my discretion on the 7 to allow, at that appropriate time, before the motion is heard, to allow the few members, I may select few members to speak on the statement. But as of now, we are proceeding with the debate on the address. I'm mindful of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think we need to be very much clear. We are dealing with the State of the Nation address currently. Madam Speaker, as I'm saying, the security of our territorial integrity matters a lot. And I was really expecting this thing to be adequately taken care of. I did a personal engagement with certain ministries regarding this particular area. During this pandemic, we have some of our security officers that have been seriously assaulted because they were trying to close the borders, which the other party, the Senegalese authorities, are not even allowing them. Our immigration officer was assaulted. And the only time I've seen the government intervening when there is a potential conflict. Because there was an instant the youths definitely want to go to that place and attack this said person. There is somebody in this particular community who is claiming to be a Senegalese. And I've been saying it over and over, the man should face a deportation. He's inciting violence in our country. If you look at the level of encouragement in that particular community, it's very, very alarming. And this can explode at any time. The youths mobilizes themselves and they want to attack these people if the government cannot do it. So it is very important. As I'm saying, you go to other borders, there is a buffer between these two countries. But you go to this community, this does not exist. It's not existing. You go there, they will tell you, in fact, there are pegs that are put in there by them claiming to be colonial pegs. I did engage the Ministry of Local Government, the minister, regarding that particular demarcation to at least engage his counterpart to make a demarcation. But I was told they sent a request from the British government to look into their archive, whether they will see the map of the Gambia to use that to demarcate. How long will it take it to get an ordinary map from UK? When still now this conflict is blooming. From there you go to Dimbaya, where our alkali and the water resources minister is here, where we even constructed that borehole. That area is claimed to be in Senegal. There is no buffer. Our alkali and all those communities are said to be in Senegal. So that one needs a real attention. I've been saying this over and over. So I was expecting this type of the territorial integrity of this country need to be protected. Not only with the water borders, but the land borders need to be defined. And we have to know that this is our territory. Anytime, there are a lot of issues happening in this area. I've been saying it. And it's better we approach it and resolve it amicably. If not, this can be a potential conflict between the two countries. From there, Madam Speaker, you look at the Environment Ministry, climate change. Bullet number 3 and 4, like the implementation of the large-scale ecosystem-based adaptation project. You talk about it, but I was also expecting, the minister did promise that this year they are going to make transplanting of seedlings. But we need to get the statistic. We are promised that 1 million trees are going to be transplanted. But how much have been? That also need to be in the report in order to tell us how many trees have they planted throughout the country. But that is not even coming. Madam Speaker, to my special ministry, the Lands Regional Governance, which is one of the ministry confronted with the highest number of gaps as far as I am concerned, because there are a lot of potential conflicts when you come to the land issues in this country. Yes, the Land Commission has been have been constituted, but how functional are they? Because if you look at the increasing number of land crises, especially in our area, I even want to believe that if there could be that connection where they can allow some traditional owners, chiefs and the governors, to team up with the traditional owners of that area to make sure that they resolve these things. But if you look at the manner in which it is done, it's serious. You go to a part in my community whereby people go with a lot of weapons at that land conflict, attacking one another. Because I've reported to the minister, I reported to the PS and the governor regarding that particular area. But up till now, it's not solved. Last time I was in Busura, I was told a soldier went there with a gun. And this was very serious. And I informed the authorities about this. So it's better we come out with a land policy, especially policy regulating the estate developers. They are seriously encouraging into our land to an extent that we'll have a problem when we come for industrial development, or if we come for maybe agricultural production within this greater Banjul area. It's going to be difficult. The trend in which the estate developers are encouraging is serious, and there's no policy regulating them. And most of them are creating conflict. You go to almost all the villages, there are conflicts. People claiming that they own this land, the estate developers, they give it to the estate developers. So it needs to be resolved. These are the areas where I want to lay specific emphasis, and I will want to wait until if we come to the adjournment debate to talk the other part. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I want to resume.
Very much. Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the floor. Madam Speaker, according to the President's address last week, I have few issues to talk about concerning different ministries. First of all, I will come to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation, and Gambians Abroad. Madam Speaker, we all know that the whole world is in trying moments since 9 months ago, since in January. We are facing so many difficulties, and Gambia is part of it. We all know that our government at this present stage cannot meet all its short-term plans because of the COVID-19. And it's not affecting only the Gambia, the whole world, as I said. But yet still, the government is doing some efforts. As I can see in the President's address, the government was trying to downsize the embassies that we have, the foreign missions in all over the world, which is very important. But due to COVID-19, it is not able to happen. The government is really spending a lot of money in foreign missions, and I think that it was a very big mistake to establish many missions all over the world, or in many parts of the world. We can always strategize. Like, for example, in West Africa, we can have 2 missions, one in the for the Francophone countries, 2 for the Anglophones. That, for example, an embassy can be in Ghana and will be responsible for Nigeria and the countries around that area. And another in Benin and the like, and it will be responsible for the countries around those areas. This will help. But if we want to open foreign missions everywhere, the Gambia will not have the capacity to fund those foreign embassies. After the elections in 2016, we all know that many embassies have been established. Maybe it was just because of political reasons, just to satisfy some people or to compensate some people. But we all know that it is not into our interest. So coming up with this initiative, it is very good. It is very good to do that, to close some embassies and to recall the diplomatic personnel to do staff monitor program. Because sometimes so many people are sent to these embassies, just as I said, just because to satisfy some people or to compensate people, which is not fair. Some of them are even overloaded. But doing this will help a lot. And then we have to put a mechanism to control it again for it not to be overloaded again. Like, we should avoid whenever a person is removed from his or her position, like for example, a ministerial position, and the president wants to compensate the guy again or to make the guy or the person happy and then send it to the foreign mission. Then we'll be doing the same thing. We'll come to this point again. So I'm appealing to the government to avoid such things. Going to Interior, we have all seen the efforts that the Security Service have been doing during the pandemic. The immigration, the police, the fire service, you name them, they have been doing so many efforts to control the border, to make sure that everything is intact. But we have a problem. We have so many porous borders here that we all know that our officials cannot control to the level that we want them to do that. The main thing is that they don't have the requirement equipment or the materials to do that. Like for example, immigration officers don't have enough vehicles, motorbikes. Police, the same thing, they don't have enough vehicles and motorbikes. So for them to do their job, it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult to patrol all the borders. And the porous borders give us so many problems. So the government should look into that to make sure that they are well equipped. Doing this will always help us, because when we have these problems of emergencies, we can easily contain them. But if we don't prepare for this, when this type of problem comes, we always be in a problem. Before fixing it, it will go to a level that for us to control it will be very difficult. So I'm appealing to the government to make sure that all these security sectors are well equipped. It is very important. In Interior, looking at prisons department, the initiative that the government is coming up with is very important. Trying to bring training programs, skill programs for the adult inmates, so that when they are out of prisons, they will be able to fit in the society, to have their professions, to be able to earn their livings. It is very important. But I'm appealing to the government, because so many people are complaining that, and some inmates who are in prison are complaining that the food is very poor. The quality of the food is very poor. So I'm appealing to the government to look into that, so that inmates will have the correct balanced diet, the food that they need, the quality food that they need for them to eat, to be healthy and to be very strong. I'm going to basic and secondary education. Honorable Speaker, we all know that since March, all schools have been closed, and children has lost a lot of learning hours, so many, and some even tend to forget what they've learned before, because the period they have been sitting at home, it's very long at the moment. They didn't do the third term, and we are coming into the next academic year, and I believe it will not start early too. So the government is trying to make a strategy here for the schools to recover their learning hours, but it will be very difficult. It will be very, very difficult. So I'm suggesting that school days shouldn't be only from Monday to Friday. It can be from Monday to Saturday. Secondly, we should avoid these midterms. Every time, 3 days midterms and the like. It's just waste of time. It's just waste of time. And coming to the next academic year, exams should be taken, let's say, at the tail end of the term. It shouldn't be early. Otherwise, kids will finish their exams, and then there will be maybe 1 or 2 weeks that they will sit at home, or they will not be doing anything at school. So it will be very difficult for them to cover up the syllabus that they lost and the syllabus of this upcoming academic year. And I think it is important to at least, but it might affect the afternoon shift. But otherwise, the learning hours should have been increased from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. But that suggestion, I think it will not work because we have so many schools, so many kids that are going for afternoon shifts. Honorable Speaker, health. The health sector have been doing a tremendous job, and still they are doing it concerning the COVID-19. But yet still they are finding it so difficult for them to do exactly what they are expected from them. Because, as I said, the health ministry was not well equipped. When this pandemic came, it was very difficult for them to contain it. At the initial stage, we didn't have so many cases. It was a bit easy for them. But for the past 2 months, we've experienced that we have so many cases. We end up trying to find new places for COVID-19 centers, medical centers and the like. But as I said, we should always be prepared for these things. Having been that we have, like for example, in every district, we have a major health center. And in every region, we have a referral hospital. And in all the big villages, we have health centers. This would have enabled us to contain the COVID-19. Because in some of the hospitals, it is very difficult for the sick people to go there and medical personnel to give them attention, because most of them are concentrating on COVID-19 patients. And some are at home suffering with illnesses or diseases, and they cannot be attended. So it's good for the government to prepare themselves so that when these pandemics happen, we can easily be able to contain them without having much troubles. But yes, still, I will say a big bravo to the health personnel and all who are assisting in these trying times and moments. Honorable Speaker, I will go to youth and sports. For higher education, research, science and technology, the government coming with the initiative of transforming GTTI and MDI to degree awarding institutes is a very good initiative. To be quite honest, it will help people or students who have the ambition to study technical courses. But many at times, they will start it and will not be able to achieve a degree in the Gambia here if they don't go outside, because GTTI only offer diploma and advanced diplomas. And they are and some of them are very good in the areas, in the in the technical areas that they want to study. But yet still, we have to be very prepared because, like for example, GTTI offering technical courses. Presently, if you go to GTTI, what I'm trying to say here is that it's not organized at this present time, because if you go to GTTI at this present time, they're offering law, they're offering human resources, they are offering management courses and the like. It went to an extent that all those students who are not doing technical courses are given more priority than the ones doing technical, because they always occupy their classes. In fact, for the technical students to have class, to have their classes, it's always a very difficult thing. Many students have been complaining that for years now. So coming up with this initiative, trying to make GTI totally a technical degree awarding institute will be a very good initiative. But I'm also appealing to the government too. For MDI, it's a very good institute, but they are lacking the financial muscles to do what they want to do, because the University of the Gambia is occupying 35% of the classes belonging to MDI. So MDI always have the problem to take the required number of intakes that they want to take, simply because the university is occupying the classes that belongs to them. Presently, early this year, the library of the MDI is now under the control of the University of the Gambia for law and business library. So meaning that the University of the Gambia has now seized the library of MDI using it. And they are using almost all of their facilities. Even the generator that they use when NAMEC is off, it belongs to the Management Development Institute without any compensation. And I know that there is no MOU between the University of the Gambia and MDI. It was something that started years ago when Professor Ka was the Vice Chancellor of the university, and his wife was the Director General of MDI. So it was something, a verbal MOU. So if they want MDI to be a degree awarding institute, so they should vacate the facilities that they are using, so that MDI will have the capacity to do that. So I'm appealing to the government and the ministry to consider that. Honorable Speaker, Youth and Sports, it is mentioned in the President's address that they are working towards upgrading the Friendship Hostel to a 3-star hotel at an estimate of $35 million. This is one of the most important initiatives that the government wants to do. If you go to the Friendship Hostel, it is in a very bad condition, to be quite honest. The tourism committee went there for a visit sometime last year, and we all saw what is going on in that hostel or hotel. There is no major renovation since it was built in the 1980s. There is no major renovations. The condition is so bad. The rooms, the swimming pool, everywhere, the laundry, the kitchen. And coming up with this initiative, it will help the government. It will help the Friendship Hostel to be able to be having more customers. They have a hall there, conference room. Government can be patronizing them. The functions that they want to be doing or that they want to do, the workshops and the like, they can be patronizing the Friendship Hostel, so that the subvention that government gives them it's very low, so that it will help them to manage the hostel and the whole independent stadium. But without that, there will be a time that they will not even be able to use the facilities anymore. So with these comments, so these are the comments that I have in the SONA. So I think I'll take my seat here. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you very much. Nominated member, Honorable Ndayasin Cheka. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. I want to commend the President for doing justice to these constitutional matters, although better late than never. I was expecting it in the first quarter of this year, but thank God it has come around this time. What I would have loved to see is the constraints that we have in this country. We have numerous constraints in this country. And what I would have loved to hear is that development on health, so that people will not be frightened to go to the hospital despite the COVID-19. But it's true, we had problems because of this COVID-19. But what is done? We commend the Health Committee for doing justice to go, because we know what is happening in the ground. We have to commend the Minister of Health and his team, but more needs to be done. Malaria, people don't even talk about malaria now. And is it that because of the COVID-19, malaria is no more existing? Is that so? Is it that because of the COVID-19, high blood pressure is no more existing? Or is it that because of the COVID-19, yellow fever is no more existing? All these things are on the ground. But now people are so afraid to go to the hospitals now. They prefer to go to the health centers, to the private hospitals. And how many average Gambians can afford to pay this amount? If you are about to die and you go to private hospitals, you will die because you don't have money to pay. And if you go to the hospitals here, somebody called me telling me that he's in the hospital, but the nurses are running away from him. So as a result, we have to struggle and go to the private hospitals. These are issues that are happening in this country. Now, plans are on the way. I just don't know when plans will reach. Plans should reach. If we don't prioritize, if we don't strategize, plans will never reach. And many plans are on the way. So, that being the case, I admire the President coming to this National Assembly to deliver his address. But I would love, before coming to the National Assembly to deliver his address, let him, what is wrong with him paying visits to the departments to see what is happening? Sometimes cut and paste, sometimes are issues, and we should really do away from those things. I admire everything he said. We have a lot of problems, but what are the strategies to make sure that we overcome those constraints? Those are the issues. We cannot say that everything is going right. No. Especially we know that we are in this transition period. Number one. Number two, COVID-19 has struck us. We all know that there are problems, but we should find ways and means of solving these problems. We should strategize, work very hard. We should work very hard, including ourselves here in this National Assembly. We should pull our socks, work very hard, because we were the ones who stood here and sworn that we will do justice to this country. And any irregularities we do is waiting for us. All of us, including myself, the National Assembly members, executive, judiciary, everybody, we should pull our socks and work for the betterment of this country. People are looking at us. Some people know what is, sometimes people know what is happening. And some of us know what is happening. So that being the case, we call ourselves Muslims and Christians in this country. What is holding us from doing justice? Let us try by all means to make sure that all what we are doing is not in the interest of individuals, but the interest of this country. This is what I want to say, and I am appealing to the President to make sure that before coming up with any nation's address, let him do his thorough studies, to make sure that he knows what is happening in this country. But plans are underway. My government is doing his level best to know that this and to make sure that this and this is continuing. This is what we have been hearing since time immemorial. We have been hearing such, since time of Imam, since when I was in this country, I used to hear this. My government and I are making sure that plans will be done. Till when? I was hoping that after 2016 election, this kind of words will be away. But still, I am hearing it. And I am appealing that we do justice to this country. We are going, others will come. We are going, others will come. Let us do justice amongst ourselves. Let us try to see that constraints can be overcome, and problems can be solved.